presenting Channeling Eric's Hour of Enlightenment.
Hello, everybody. Wait a minute. I'm getting some from Michelle. Hang on. Miss Gray. Let me find her.
Yeah, she's there.
There she is. Hey, Michelle
Hello.
Gray.
Hello.
I was a little confused because I thought I misunderstood Denise. She said that you weren't going to be on, but you were going to be on. So
yes, I'm here tonight.
Yeah, I'm not. I feel great, but I had like 1 hour of sleep last night. I could not.
Oh dear.
So y'all, if I have any brain
sleep?
No, I don't know why.
I hate that when that happens.
Oh God. All right. Let's talk about the topic today, which I think is just beautiful. And this is really one of the hardest challenges for me. So we're going to talk about, with Denise Mon, how to recognize being in the flow versus being resistant to everything. Because, you know, what you resist persists, right?
Yes.
And I want to say hello to both of you ladies, Denise Mon at DeniseRamon.com, and of course, thehealing-art.com. It'll be in the description box when this is a YouTube. And I also want to say hi to my lovely son, Eric. I love you so much.
He smiles. He's telling me, he goes, I love you, Mama.
Oh, baby. This is, first of all, why? Well, let's let you have free range. You are now a free-range chicken, but let's not ask why you continue.
That was funny. I just pictured myself running around like a chicken. Eric is telling me, you know, and it's funny because this was like a topic for me on my morning walk, because I go walk when it's still dark 30 in the mornings, and this was part of my
Dark 30.
Yeah, dark 30s. Still part of my conversation this morning that I was having with Eric and my father, who is also on the other side. But you know, Eric says, you know, it's really the fear that's navigating that. You know, the fear, and that's why we get into the resistance, because he says the fear drives us into thinking things aren't going to work out. So we start thinking of all these scenarios of why it isn't and why it's got to be this way or that way in order for it to work out. And he says, and he goes, like he said this morning, just breathe, like what's going on right now? And I had to say, well, you know, everything's okay. And he says, and everything is okay. And then Eric talks to me a lot about my perception. He says, because our perception determines everything, you know, how we look at things. And so, you know, it's like
it co-creates our realities even.
Yeah, and so he, you know, and he's saying it's like, really, when you catch yourself, he says, because it's like you're up in your head and you're getting all twisted in a knot. And he says, and this is where he says, you know, kind of like, take a couple of breaths, and he goes, and then you'll start feeling yourself unwinding a little bit, and then ask your question, why am I going that direction? Why am I doing this? And
do you remember that book, The Worst Case Scenario? I think it's about how case scenario. Go ahead, Michelle. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was Denise talking. Me.
Oh, I heard Michelle a little bit.
No, that was me. We sounded like Michelle. But
I know.
From another mother.
Well, you know, Michelle was my daughter in another life.
That's
true.
Really
was.
Really?
She really. Yes.
Cool.
And, But you know, Eric is saying, you know, we get these stories going on in our head, and we do think if it doesn't happen on Tuesday at 5 o'clock, then the whole world's going to collapse. And Eric says, you know, it's about knowing, and it's not really knowing. He says it's about trust that somebody does have your back, and it is going to be okay. And even if the check bounces and the bill collectors come after you, he says, it is going to be okay because there's going to be an end to it, he says. You just have to trust. And then when he says trust, it's like, it's like, just know that there's going to be an end to this, and start putting your focus in another direction. Like he says, like seeing that check being cleared, seeing the people stopping to call you, or whatever the situation is, for a job or something like that. Start seeing it happening, but not at a specific place.
Right. Have blinders on.
Right.
Be open and go with the flow. Right. Just like your what this whole thing is about. Just but let go and let God, that kind of thing. I love that phrase actually, but just let go.
And Eric says, get yourself busy doing something else. And also he says it's really important to spend time quietly with yourself, however you do it. For me, I like to do it on my walks. And he was talking to me about breath work, how that's so important. And I remember you had somebody on, I don't know when it was, a couple of years ago or so maybe, that talked about breath work and how healing it was.
Yeah, was that really? I don't remember. But yes, because when you're breathing and also focusing on your breathing, you are in control. You're not worried about the, feeling guilt about the past, or you're not apprehensive about the future. Correct.
What do you have to say, Michelle?
Yeah.
It's interesting because Eric talked to me about it today, and something that he said to me is, he says, okay, Michelle, think back to when you were a baby. And he says, that when we're babies, he says, we're born in the flow. We're in the flow. Because as babies, he says, we express ourselves, like if we have displeasure, we cry. We get our needs met. We're having somebody else take care of us, but we're naturally, when we're upset about something, we let it be known. We accept that, and then we're also able to, he says, as babies, we don't worry about things. We don't have the same kind of worries that we condition ourselves into as we grow. But he says that resistance is actually taught to us. How does he say this now? Okay. He says resistance is taught to us through the actions and reactions that we observe through other people as we grow. And so he says that we learn how other people react to our behaviors. And then we start to apply that to other things in our life. And so he says that it's resistance that reoccurs starts to come up in our thoughts, in our behaviors, and he says it also comes up in our body as well. And it comes up as negativity. But he says to flow, he says flowing is what's natural to us. And then, so how do we change that? He says, we'll take the fight out of it. Out. He goes, think about the fight is going on with the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. So he says, take the fight out. And he goes, and you know what? Resistance is something that will naturally pop up. So accept that we're going to feel that. Accept that some of that will come up because we're human. So he says, if it comes up, say, okay, I feel resistance. He goes, now what are you going to do about it? Well, find out what the resistance is from. He goes, what if you practice is saying, okay, I'm going to allow my thoughts and my feelings to go to the worst case scenario here. And that's flow. He says, think flow can be flowing with the resistance as well. Rather than being in this space of, oh, no, I don't want to feel this. This is bad. This means if I think about these things, I'm going to manifest them. He says we can get ourselves, or in his words, we can get our knickers all in a twist, thinking ourselves into all of these different directions. But he says, what if the flow means that I'm going to allow my mind to go to this worst case scenario? I'm going to go there, and then I'm going to say, but I don't accept that. And I'm going to allow the universe and the higher part of me bring in something different for me. And like Denise, you were saying, move over to something else. He says also everything in life the tools that we have. So, do we have supports in our life that we can turn to when we're going through things to help us keep into the flow? Like who do we have to talk to? How are we taking care of our emotions? Like, Denise, you're walking every day. He says by doing that, that's a way of you breaking up any resistance because you work through things. So he says, what are you doing to give yourself that each day rather than piling everything on? What tools are you using to allow yourself to go there and to work through it? Because the more we work through it, the more space we have within us to flow.
So is that kind of like stuck energy also?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so
yes.
that can create disease probably, right? If you
yes.
can't surrender, then your energy is chronically stuck, and the universe is going to hit you with a big fat disease.
Eric says
it could
yes.
Be
I'm
cold. Somebody
yes.
told me that illness is a protest of life, like a cold or sore throat, etc. You protest. That's true, though.
I like that.
Denise.
I like that. I was going to say, there was several years ago, I had a frozen shoulder, and I knew exactly what it was from. And it wasn't until it got so bad that I was willing. Of course, I had to go get acupuncture and therapy done on it. But it got to that point where I had to start addressing what caused it, because I knew something emotionally created that. So it it does manifest in your body somehow. It doesn't have to be a terminal illness, but it can go into somewhere like your hips, shoulders. And Michelle was talking about how when this stuff is coming up, like notice it. It's like the first thing I notice is like, how's my posture? Because my shoulders have a tendency to want to flex forward. Instead of just relaxing backwards.
Typical, yeah. Slouching.
And he says our bodies will always tell us if we're not catching it. If we're so busy in our mind that we're not catching it, our bodies will be telling us where's the resistance, what's going on. And he says part of why we experience it in the body as well is because the resistance is it's a more of a dense frequency in the body, so it collects heavy. And he says resistance can make us lethargic and tired and not feel motivated. And he says it's all tied into the same thing in the body.
Well, what if you can't figure out where the source of resistance is? Is there any other way to get that energy moving so that perhaps you can, have a light go off? I mean, salsa dancing or just moving, breath work, of course, we talked about that. But is there another way until we are able to face our emotions and what we are resisting?
Care, movement. Eric says physical movement and being in nature.
It's funny you say that, Michelle. He shows me like working in the yard, digging in the dirt.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
When I go to the mailbox every day, I have to put blinders on, because if I see a weed to the side, I don't really put blinders on. I just have this impulse to pick it. And I myself guilty about pulling out weeds, but Eric told me it's just a haircut for the greenery, whatever. It's not. It doesn't. It's making me feel better. Yeah,
I like that. I'm going to
start
doing that.
Rabbit hole. But yeah. All right. What else can help? Sound therapy, colors.
Definitely. Sound therapy.
Anything that takes care of us, like anything that we do to take care of our body, mind, spirit, is helpful.
Okay.
Yeah, if you like to cook yourself something nutritious, something that's delicious. And Eric says, and try a new recipe if you like to cook. Try a new recipe.
Things, because you're not in a rut all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Eric says if you don't like to cook, and I feel like he's echoing that to me, if you go out to eat, go to a new restaurant.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Change it up. Change it up.
Yeah. He said it's
Eric
really that simple.
He just gave me an example just now. He's like, I've got all this storage and stuff things that I'm getting rid of. I've been doing this for like 3 years now, but I was really feeling in the doldrums looking at my living room, and Eric just showed me what I just did to kind of change the frequency. And all I did was go get new curtains with color. And he just showed me that, and he said that makes a change because now I feel more like getting into these boxes and bins of things to go through. It just kind of changes my mindset in that room. Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea. You know, me, if I had not touched it in 15 years, like my husband, he's not a real bad hoarder, but and so he just puts everything in some place that we spend whatever per month to store. And I'm telling you, it's like we have not even been that storage for, I don't know, 10 years. Look, dude, we could buy all that stuff new for the price of what we're spending on the monthly rental and storage space. Oh, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Eric says he's a collector.
I love to go to junk. I love it. I say, if I haven't seen that in 15 years, go. Got junk. Get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric also says, too, you know, for those of us that, you know, who can't go out and purchase something or do anything like that or don't have a yard to dig in, he says, wear a different T-shirt, wear a different blouse, even if it's something that you don't wear because it's more for going out after hours or whatever. He says, just put it on anyway because that will help shift things. And as he tells me that, I remember working with someone who all of a sudden started coming to work really dressed up, and it was kind of a business casual environment. And she told me the reason why she does that is she says because she's in a bad place at work, and that helps shift her energy.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. I guess you can also turn your shirt inside out if you don't have enough shirt.
I do that naturally.
I do too.
I know, well, I put everything on backwards for everything.
I do it
I
all the
remember
time.
one time I got dressed, put these not nice boots, but these boots, and all of a sudden realized I forgot to put my pants on first. So I have a picture of that. Like,
that's funny.
Lisa. It's so me. So what else, Eric? What people don't have the support system to help us work through our emotions and whatever is keeping us stuck?
Eric says there's always something there that we can do for ourselves. If it's call, you know, like a crisis hotline of some sort, something. He says, because once you get, it's like kick-starting a bike, you know, once you get it going, then it can go. And he says, you know, he knows that there are really dark curtains in front of many of our eyes. Yeah. But he says, do make that call, you know, to the crisis hotline, or do make that call to a friend that doesn't know anything about. You don't even have to say what's happening. Just talk, he says. Just talk.
Yeah. That reminds me of this weekend, Easter weekend. I was watching this pastor talk, and, you know, I am not an organized religion person. I'm God, source, etc., all that stuff. But he was talking about the really awful epidemic of loneliness in our society, and there's so many reasons. COVID did not help, obviously, and social media doesn't help. But he said, look, people need to be together, okay? Mm-hmm. And even if you have to go to your local church, you don't have to believe in organized religion, but just send community, because there are people in that church who are also lonely and need people. So, I mean, it's not the worst idea in the world, right? You don't have to buy the fire and brimstone aspect of it, but I think that's a lovely idea, to just have a place to form form connections and a sense of community.
Yes, connection.
And there are
Eric
community
says
centers too
connection.
that do that. There are secular ways to do that as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when you say that, Eric says, even if you like are repulsed by going to a church, he says there are places where you can go volunteer. And I remember Source telling me one time in my meditation, we were just talking about stuff, and he was saying, showing me, or I say he, they is really what it is, and says the reason why you feel so good when you help somebody, and not just me personally, but anybody, why we feel good when we help somebody, because you're actually giving that to yourself.
Oh.
That's why you feel so good. So be careful what you give out to other people. But Eric says there's places to go volunteer. If it's at a shelter for animals, or there's the forgotten ones in the nursing home, and there's places to volunteer, like at food banks, and if you can't get out of the house, Eric says, there are things where they need help, volunteers. I think like taking phone calls is what he's showing me or something, but there are things that can be done. If you can't get, he says, if you're not mobile, if you can't get out of the house, he says, there is something. He says, but look in your community as to what there is.
Well, I mean, you could even call an elderly person, I'm thinking more of this, and read them a story. So I will tell you what the story is. One of my son-in-laws has this little phone app that, how it'll ring a number that kind of looks like it's in the same area as you. And, hello, I said, yes, this is the IRS. Can I speak to the lady of the house? And then a pause so you can answer. And okay, so this one was a recorded person of an elderly lady saying, "Can you please tell me I need some toilet paper?"
Oh.
And just pretend, okay, it's a pit. Don't feel sorry for her because it's an actress. And said, and so everybody just hung up. But this one lady who's a friend of ours said, well, I can't bring you toilet paper. What else can I do? Well, can you come over and read me a story? I'm so sad. And died, blah, 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 blah. It was very sad. And this lady was so sweet. She bought it hook, line, and sinker, and said, she started, yes, I will tell you a story. It's a story about Jesus Christ. She's very religious. And she started, but she went on the whole story, and it was just a recording. So funny.
Oh, wow. Of course.
I probably would have fallen for it too. All right, so what else? So that shows you can always do something.
Yeah.
Besides printing people.
There is some, and Eric says write. If you can't write, type. And if you can't type, speak. Into a recorder or something. If you have a smartphone, everybody has that where you can voice text. And that Eric's reminded me, there's a place in San Antonio, Texas, and I can't remember the name of the place, but if you're from the area, you'll know. But it's like a museum of some sort that has really cool things that people have invented and created. And one of them is it's this room with a bunch of phones, like pay phones in there.
Yeah.
And what it is there's one part in there where you can go in there and just tell your innermost secret that you haven't told anybody, and just tell the secret and into the phone. And then there's other people, then you can go to the other section of the phones and you listen to people's secrets. Oh. And they have said that has been very profound in healing, to where people can go tell their secrets. And I
without showing their face.
Yeah, and you don't even know where they are. And some of them, I remember listening to a couple of them, and it's like people had some really serious stuff that weighed heavy on them. And when I say serious, it was serious for them. Of course, I didn't hear about murders or anything like that, but you know, things that they were carrying around that were so heavy. But it's what they said was is people just need somebody to listen to them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We need collection. What do you call it? Community and connection, because we are all one. So these telephones in the same building but a different room?
There was a section of the phones in a one room where you could talk and stuff in private, but then there's another section where all the phones were. I guess there was like where you could listen to what was recorded. What was recorded in another room, and I think there's like 12 phones or something in another room. It's really a cool place in San Antonio if you haven't been to it. It's downtown somewhere.
Yeah, check that out. That's so cool. Eric, anything else you want to discuss about how to let go of resistance and flow with life before we take callers?
Eric is just adding one more thing, and this kind of goes back to what we were saying about dancing and that, but as you were talking, Denise, I was like sitting here kind of rocking side to side without really realizing that I was doing it. And Eric says to me, do you notice what you're doing? And I was like, oh, what am I doing? And he says, that's flow. He says, when you're attuning your body and your mind, he goes, movement. And so he's talking about all of those movements, like when we rock a baby, or when we just have that natural. And Marcus has autism, and one of his stims that he self-soothes with is rocking. And Eric says that's a way of finding our center, finding flow. So he just said that, you know, if you need to find that within yourself, just sit there and move your body. Just rotate it, rock it, move that energy around.
And it's no coincidence that it's what mothers do to their babies.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I like that.
All right, I'm going to go through some, what is the hand up thing? I don't understand that.
I don't know either.
Okay, this person has a hand up, so tell me what that is. How do you get the little hand icon? Wait, hang on, let's click one more time. This is the 646 area code. Hi there.
Hi. The hand means that we have a question we want to be called upon.
Oh, okay. How do you do that, though?
You press number 1.
Oh,
when you call,
okay.
when you call the number, So anybody who has their hand up means they want to talk to you, and if they don't have their hand up, they're just listening.
Okay. Anybody who wants to press 1 if you want me to, pick you from the list one by one. All right. What you got for us, girl? What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Carla. I'm calling from New York. So I called a few months back when I had put my condo on the market. Yeah. So I put my condo on the market, and Eric was very positive and said that it would sell soon. And now it's like 4 months later, and I got a couple of low offers, so they weren't even worth pursuing. But I'm waiting for a solid offer, and I'm wondering, Eric, what's happening? When am I going to get it? Because I'm very eager to move.
Yeah.
Well, Eric still shows me that it's selling.
Yeah.
What's the hold up? What is the resistance to block?
Yes, please.
I don't really get a resistance. I get that it's about the right time. It's for you to move and in just the right time. And as I say that, I just get this, like you're ready to move and stuff like that. I just get this feeling like, get okay with just being okay, not being okay.
Okay, but it's been a while and I've been patient. I feel like it's supposed to happen. I do. I feel like it's supposed to happen, and I'm just wondering, like, is there a time frame? I mean, if Eric sees it selling, can he tell me when? Because when last time we spoke, it sounded like soon. So, I was a bit disappointed when time passed and nothing really concrete happened. Can you give me, like, is it this month? because we did drop the price also, just to help stimulate activity.
Michelle, are you getting anything? I do want to say, though, sometimes, so when they say soon, and this is what I've learned from my own experience, when Erica said soon or someone, soon sometimes may not be my soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But I know. But he knows we think in different terms here on this plane.
Yeah.
So Eric knows what's going on.
Yeah.
To be quite honest,
economy, interest rates, is it the price?
Yeah.
What is it?
No, Eric's saying it's like coming from the other direction. So he says that because this is a two-part thing, meaning that there is a divine timing that's taking place with the buyers as well. Because he shows somebody that may have or may be coming back, like somebody that's already been interested in coming back. So he says it is divine timing. What's that?
Yeah, maybe without her knowledge. Maybe they've looked.
It's like a change. It's like a change in somebody else's circumstances. There's a change, and let me tell you, there's somebody that already has manifested your home. Like it's energetically already their home. And what Eric is saying is what the plans were for them at the moment of, say, stepping into your home, purchasing it. It may be somebody that already made an offer. That didn't work out, and somebody felt like they failed. Somebody felt like they weren't going to get it. So he says it's like
we
it's
never
them
actually,
coming around.
we never actually told anyone there was an offer, because it wasn't even like worth considering. Like, people said we'll offer this, but it was not even worth negotiating with. We said no, forget it. So it was like nobody ever.
Like that's
So
that's the energy of somebody. Like somebody feels like they failed at something, so maybe they weren't going to get approved for a loan, or they thought they weren't going to get it, or something with their house. Like it's in somebody's energy that is interested in your home. Because the way Eric shows it to me is like at any time. At any time. And as hard as that is to hear, that Eric says, for you, this is a real teaching and learning experience, because there's a great deal of trust in this, because he goes, we know you want to go. We know you want this done. And because the other thing, too, he's saying, just to add a little piece, a little spice into this for you, is you have the ability to visualize. And you do it very well. And sometimes the visualization can be focused on, trying to figure something out, and maybe on something that you don't want to come to fruition, which can slow the energy down a little bit. He says, focus on moving and see yourself in that movement and visualize handing the keys over. And he says, and do it every night before you go to bed.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm trying my best. All right. Bye. Yeah, say a prayer for me. Please help Eric.
We're going to. I've written you down on my little post-it note. I'm going to.
I appreciate
that. All right.
Thank you, Carla.
That's sweetie. Okay, Thank you. Okay, got somebody from the 651 area code. Hi there. How you doing?
Hi, this is Christiana.
Christiana, what's up?
Hello.
Hi. I'm just wondering. I'm moving soon, and I'm just wondering, do you see me getting enough money by Friday to make the move?
Will you have enough money to move by Friday? This Friday?
Yes.
The 14th?
Yes.
Eric shows me it's working out for you, so I don't know how that's going to work out, other than it's working out for you. It's like it's almost like I feel somebody coming in with a helping hand to help you out. That's what I keep seeing is somebody with a helping hand. But I don't know what that helping hand holds. I just see somebody coming in with a helping hand.
Okay.
Denise, I got the exact same thing, because Eric was showing me communication, and there would be somebody. So there might be a circumstance where you feel like it's not going to happen. So if you've got the ability to ask somebody for help, or somebody comes in that can offer you help, Eric is saying it will work out, but allow yourself to accept help. And he's also saying, like, this is a new stage of this part of your life of really taking on your own power, like empowerment. You're stepping into your own self-responsibility and creating. And he says, and sometimes help comes from different directions that we don't always expect. So he says, like this, and the last one, perfect conversations about resistance and flow. And everything.
Yeah.
Everything that we talked about tonight. Yeah. Like
it's
really
crazy how that happens. Wow. I thought about that. All right. Thanks, Christiana. Good luck to you, babe. All right. Let me see. Yeah. She calls quite often. She's sweet. All right. Got somebody from the 412 area code. Hi. How you doing?
Hi. This is Lori from Presto.
Hi.
Hi, Elisa. And Michelle, and is it Denise?
From Jacob?
Yes, I lost my son almost a year ago now to leukemia. And
you went through your first Easter, right?
Yes, first Easter without him, and we just pretended it wasn't Easter because I didn't know what else to do. Holidays are hard.
I know.
But I was wondering, I know you know, and Lisa, I want to thank you for all the help you've given me because I don't know what I'd do without you. But
I'll always be there for you, sweetie.
Thank you. I was wondering if Jacob had a message for me or for either of his sisters. His older sister, Allie, who was his bone marrow donor, is getting ready to run a marathon in his honor with some of his friends. And his younger sister is struggling. She had to take a medical leave from college because the grief is just, it's hard.
Yeah, and
I was wondering,
that's stuck energy too. That's along the same lines of resistance.
And, and she lifts weights to reduce the anxiety. And,
good.
And Allie runs and I walk. We all try to move But anyways, I was wondering if my son had a message for any of us, and so.
Yeah, please, Jacob, step up.
Well, I see Jacob sprinting, so I feel like he's going to be there during the marathon run. I see him sprinting there, and I really see him sprinting with her, like at the 20-mile marker, where he's like, I guess where that's the part where you kind of like either suck in some more air, and like Erica showed me, like suck in some air and go. And I feel like this is where his sprinting is really going to pick up for her. That's what I'm getting right now. Michelle, what are you getting?
Yeah, Jacob, can you tell either of them something, or both of them, that will make them know that you are okay, before just saying, I'm okay?
He's just saying to his sister that's going to be running, there's going to be a bird or something that happens in nature where he just showed me a bird flying in.
Wow.
And he seems to really like birds, using birds.
It's funny because I like birds. I've fed birds for 20 years. And
wow.
So maybe that's what. But anything before, I don't want to take up too much time for his younger sister because she's struggling. He and his older sister were always so close.
Yeah.
Younger sister, not so much, but she's struggling. So
he's telling her, take everything in moderation.
Okay.
And he says that right now is a time for her to really build up her own personal esteem, like her self-esteem. But he's saying, like, she's doing the right thing by taking it easy and caring for herself right now. That's what's going to give her a better outcome. So he wants to let her know that he's there. And he's also talking about coming to her in dreams. So for her to look for him.
Okay. I also get from him that she's very intuitive, And later down the road, when she works through the thickness of the grief, I feel like she will be channeling him and talking to him. And
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful to be able to help the rest of the family that way as well.
Yeah.
It takes time. Yeah, it takes time.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, all of you. I love you all. You've helped me
No
so much.
Love you, Lori.
Big hugs to you,
Thank
Lori.
you. All right. Bye-bye.
Love you, Jacob.
Bye.
Jacob, I bet he hangs out with Eric. Hope so.
I heard him.
Eric
Jacob Jacob does hang out with Eric, but Lori, if you're still listening, Jacob just says, "Love you, Mom."
Yeah.
Oh. All right. So 630 area code. Hi there. How you doing?
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Of course. Pleasure.
I really resonate with the topic of the hour because I've beat myself up that I'm not, why aren't you in the flow, or how come you're not where you want to be? Like you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, it's like a tug of war in my mind, but like the one lady with the selling of the condo, the lady with the selling of the condo. So I found a townhouse that I want that came up for sale last week. And energetically, I'm claiming it as mine until I can get my finances together to purchase it. But, like, I'm holding space over it because I want it for me because it's perfect, And so then, so I get what she's saying, like, but I'm waiting. And it's like, but what about the other person getting their act together to purchase it, Like, maybe the other lady, like, was it like a delay is the way for the universe to catch up to you?
You better not be fighting over the same condo. I'm kidding. So what is your name, first name, and where are you calling from? Maybe you said it. I can't remember.
My name is Dion, and I'm in Wisconsin.
Where? Scottsdale?
I'm in Wisconsin.
Oh, Wisconsin. All right, gotcha. All right, thank you. So, Eric, what do you think?
Well, Eric is telling me, she's getting the ball rolling. It's like that townhouse. She needed to see that townhouse, so it would strike up. It would light that up in her. Like, yes, this is what she wants to do. And Eric says, you've been wanting to do what you're doing to get your finances in order, but this is what it took for you to get into action with it. So just continue doing that. And I just want to say, we put a bid on a house. This was years ago when we did this, because we absolutely found our house that we absolutely loved. And by the time we got there, somebody else put a contract on it. So then they showed us another house that was out of our price range, but they showed us a house that was the same floor plan, but a bigger lot, and it had a fireplace. And they took the amount of money that we offered on it. And after we signed the contract, that other house that we really thought we really, really wanted, the contract fell through.
Oh.
And I can tell
maybe
you,
it burned down. I was waiting to say it burned down.
No, these were new construction. So, but I'm just saying, just because you see that new townhouse, and that is it. If Eric says, just know that's got a spark going in you to get your affairs in order. So let's just say it didn't fall through the way you wanted to. Just know that there is a bigger and better one coming through for you.
Yeah, you're making the movement toward getting something. Maybe even something you like more.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Fingers crossed for her, everybody. All right, we've got somebody from the 757 area code. Hi there.
Hello, good evening, everyone. This is Andre from Virginia Beach.
Hey, Andre from
Virginia Beach. Yes, thank you for this topic. I feel the need to listen to the show, and I think it's right on the topic of flow and resistance. It's very important for me right now. What do you need to know?
It has been for a while, really. It has been for a while, honestly. Yeah.
Yes, I've been I'm listening to several shows, but I was not the one who was picked, to to say, my questions. Today is, I guess, not like a day. So I would
Now
like
it
to
is.
know, like, my family situation, and I'm just wondering, like, I see every time the sign of change. I'm wondering, the changes coming and the topic of flow and resistance, and I'm wondering how much time do you still have, to figure, things out until they change.
Well, tell us more about the family situation, because Michelle and Denise might not know about what you're talking about.
I was
What is
actually,
your name?
I was with Michelle.
Yes,
like,
Michelle knows.
Michelle knows.
Oh, Michelle knows. Okay.
Yeah, I'll let
she
Denise
knows.
take this one because Michelle knows quite a bit, so I'll let Denise take this one.
Okay, so you want to know when things are going to change for your family?
Well, I see the signs from my guides. Like they show me the change, prepare for the change, and there's a lot of things going on with my family, and the topic of resistance. Like I was told that I need to let go and move with the flow, and that's the hard part for me.
Is this around some health stuff?
No, it's just my family, between me and my wife, the relationship stuff.
Is it a relationship that you feel like your guides are telling you to let go of?
Well, no, it's not like they tell me to just move with the flow, like for now. Like this is how at least I understood. The message is
Okay, so
less resistance.
Okay, so this is what I'm picking up, like some health stuff going on. That's why I said, is this about health? And so when you're, yes, about some health. And so about just letting go, it's real easy, I know, to say just let go when it's, you don't even know where to start to pry it away to let go of. And, sometimes for me, I just put my hands up and I just say, I let go, just give myself a visual of what I'm doing. But Eric is telling me it's for you to focus more on you, and he's showing me about what, and this is where I pick up some health, like what can you do to better yourself health-wise?
Are you talking about mental health, like anxiety, depression, things like that, Eric?
Well, he's saying like just physical health, even just like what can you do to better yourself? And when he says that, it's more like nurture yourself. So with whatever's going on, because I don't feel like what's going on, you have total control over it. But he's showing me like take the little parts of it that you do have control over yourself. And he's showing me like start like, okay, this is really hurting me or aggravating me. He's saying take that little piece and go, what can you do to release it? Mm-hmm. And as you start, he's showing me you're going to start seeing things falling into place.
Mm-hmm.
I have one more question to Eric. Last time when I spoke to him, he said the happy ending is, the happy ending. Is it still on the table, or I just missed the bullet and I went to a different timeline?
I don't feel it's been missed. That's what I get. I get that it's still there. I don't get that it's missed. And also too, your happy ending. Eric says, just know when you say happy ending, don't color the picture in of how that happy ending is supposed to be. Leave that. Yeah. That's mind. Eric tells me those are minor details. Let the experts take care of that.
Yeah, go with the flow. Allow the universe to send you down that river in the direction you're supposed to go.
And we're doing some healing work coming up too, Andre. So we'll be talking soon.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you, Andre from Virginia Beach. All right.
Take care.
Got you from the 805 area code. Hi there. How you doing? Anybody there? 805?
Hello. Oh, yes. Hi. How are you? This is Donna in California. Hi.
Hello.
I have question. For the last 2 years, I won money, and I won like 6 times. And
Nice.
I didn't think I had to report it because I make less than $16,000. And when I Googled it, it said that you don't have to report the earnings because I didn't make enough. But I wasn't taking into consideration SSI, which is the supplemental. And now I got a letter from them, so I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they take away my Medi-Cal or if they, is that going to be all right? I mean, what are you picking up on that?
God dang it, IRS, and they want to hire 87,000 more? Ugh. So what, Eric? What's going to happen?
Huh?
Eric shows me there's going to be some adjustments that's going to have to be made.
Okay, that's all right. I don't mind paying back the money. Paying back the money
Yeah.
because then they just take whatever money you make.
Yeah.
I just don't want them to take away my Medi-Cal because I'm disabled and I have to go to the doctor a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't feel that. I don't feel that.
No, it's not going to be anything like that.
No.
Eric says that he says just relax about it, like be patient because it'll end up working out where they're going to work out something with you, and it's not going to be like he showed me like the big bad wolf, and he says it's not going to be the big bad wolf. It won't be like that.
That's what I get too.
Oh, yeah, because this has never happened before in 50 years.
Oh, boy.
The first time. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you'll be okay.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it, Donna. That's so awesome. You had those winnings.
Good, Don. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. Manifestor.
All right, I'll take my phone numbers. No. All right. 204 area code. Hi there. How you doing?
Hi. I think it's me. I'm pretty excited. I didn't expect to get through.
Oh, I'm so glad you did. What's your first name?
My first name's Barb.
Hey, Barb.
And I'm from Manitoba, Canada.
Oh. I finally figured out that MB is Manitoba.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Is Barb K?
It is.
Hi, Barb.
I'm so happy to talk to you guys.
Yay.
That's awesome.
Tonight that I was able to call in. So, actually, I've kind of had, different ones that I've lost on my mind, but I wonder if my mom is around, Eric, and can give me a message. Her name, she was from Manitoba too. She passed in 2019, and her name was Bernice, but everyone knew her as Bern.
Oh. Okay.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Was your mom like the social person? Because I tell you what she's showing me, that she's just like in a room with a lot of people, like a gathering or something, and she's just having such a good time. She's just talking with everybody like she knows everybody, and it's like she's meeting all her friends, and then she's just talking with them. It's like friends she hasn't seen in a while, and she's just having such a good time with them. And she shows me, and she's in like a bathrobe too while she's talking, and she's got like a cup of, I want to say it looks like tea, but it could be coffee. I'm not sure about the coffee cup. And she's just talking with everybody, just like catching up on everything.
That's totally my mom. My mom loved to visit and would, could meet everybody anywhere, total strangers, and just strike up a conversation. So that sounds like her.
Yeah, well, she's having a good time. She's, I just have chills. She says, you have felt her around often, like a thought or something that just makes you think of her, or you felt like she was around you. She says those are real.
Yeah.
She is around you.
There are times that she comes to mind.
Yes.
If there's time, just a quick question. Sometimes I smell, I get a smell of, I want to say it's kind of vanilla, but it's also, I don't know if you like a burnt sugar smell. Very pleasant. Is that coming from Mom?
I get a yes, but I feel like there's somebody else with her. Did she have a sister on the other side?
Oh, she had a lot of sisters. Yeah.
Because I hear aunt, and I know it's not her aunt, or maybe y'all pronounce it aunt. I don't know. But I get
a female with her.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, sorry. What were you going to say?
They're cohorts in the kitchen, probably.
Well, and I'm also hearing. I know what's going on. Like I hear, or I'm hearing what's going on, because she's taken like like it's an old phone, like with the cord, like pulling the cord out. Like I'm on the phone for a long time, and I know what's going on. Like I'm hearing all about it, so I want to let you know that we're helping.
Oh, good. Because our family's in a lot of turmoil right now. A lot of unexpected, shocking changes. So, and hopefully she's helping out my sons, her grandsons, because they're having some rough time, like some rough patches right now.
She's helping him be able to, like what we're talking about tonight, like surrender, helping him be able to let go, helping him to be able to release, because he's holding on tight. She says there's an moderation, like there's an easier way for him, she says.
Oh, good.
I heard she's helping him to decipher. That's what I heard, was decipher. Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, I just miss her.
She says she loves you, and she said, I love her so much.
That's so awesome. Thank you for calling, sweetie. I hope this helps. Glad you're on.
Barb. It did. Thanks.
Thanks, Barb.
Talk to you guys. Bye.
Hey, Barb. Bye, Barb. All right. I don't really think we have time for another question because I want to run into the other show. I would just close here and say thank you guys for being such loyal listeners, especially if you get picked and, your answers, your questions answered, you still hang on until the end of the show. So that's very sweet. I like that. And also, of course, you guys need to check out Denise Vaughn at DeniseVaughn.com and Michelle Ray at thehealing-art.com. Wonderful channels, obviously, and wonderful healers. And you guys be sure to check out the Atlantis Scalar YouTube. All right. Love you all.
Bye. Y'all have a good night. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Lisa. Hey,
bye.
Good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye. I love you, Eric.
Love you, Mom.